Hello, beautiful people. This is Small Hat Chris for the Small Hat Crew. I've got with me today Small Hat Nick and Brandon. And we're going at it again. We're jumping right back in. We're going to reveal these new cards. We're going to have opinions. I'd say Brandon would have hot takes, but somehow it seems that the logical takes here are the ones that you all are taking issue with because you like the bad cards. Apparently, Bello Queen is good somehow. So...
yeah, you know.
No, I don't, and that's the problem apparently. But we're gonna jump right into this. Boys, let's go ahead and start with the first card, and that is going to be Gyats? Is that his name? Gyats? Black character, 1 Don 1K, Dress Rosa, so he's searchable off of Rebecca. 2K, probably the only thing that'll matter. On play, up to one of your characters with the Dress Rosa type may attack your opponent's characters inactive during this turn. That's actually really good.
Yeah. It's a good effect, but it's also a 2K, and also the only big black card, the only big black character card so far is 7K Luffy, who already has this effect. So I don't see it being good right now until we get other Dress Rosa cards.
Bro, I can't picture this card being bad. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know how this.
I agree.
This is insane. This has to be one of the best 2Ks I think we've had printed. I think like the only thing ahead of him is probably Otama. This card is.
That's fair.
It's like him, it's Suru, and Otama. This is a good effect.
I think based on the previous videos and my Franky take, you guys know how big a fan I am of attacking active characters.
When I saw this card, you're the first thing I thought of.
Yep.
I was like, Brandon fucking loves this card.
The card has fantastic potential. Obviously it's a 2K, but like its on play effect part is only good if they get good Dressrosa characters.
Bro, even if they get bad Dressrosa characters, you could play this and run over like a tiny blocker.
Yeah, and I don't see this card not being good. So as far as 2K counters go, with it being a 1-drop,
exactly, you cost
something
1.
attack. Yeah, being a 1-drop is insane. 2K counter insane. As far as 2K counters go, I feel like there is more playability with other 2K counters like Otama. Yes, so I'm gonna give this about a 4 out of 5. But I don't see it being less than a 4 of in a Dressrosa deck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's an instant 4 of.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
That goes.
With current cards revealed, I'd probably give this a 3.5.
Really? I don't know. A 2K is a 2K. We gave Sasuke a 4, and I think this is better than Sasuke. So this is.
Oh shit, you're right. I didn't realize we gave Sasuke a 4.
You're right. Let's give it a 4.5. It's a good card. This is a good ass card.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of feel like it's a 5. He's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 5 is cool. I thought you were saying.
I don't know. I just think he's good. I'm gonna be the one, I guess, that overshoots on this one. I'm gonna give him a 5. I just think he's that good. I think he's insane.
I'm gonna stick with 3.5 because I think Sasuke we put way too high.
Yeah. My only reasoning for not giving it a 5 is that it's Dressrosa specific. In Dressrosa, it's absolutely
fair.
a 5.
4.5. I'll drop down to a 4.
Yeah, outside of that, it's a card for a very specific deck. You know, Otama, for example, gets played in any red deck. That's my reasoning for it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we even put Sasuke too high because it's like he's a 2K with a playable effect. Because you just being Apu, Apu's effect is not playable. And he's a mandatory 4-up in every deck that plays Bonnie.
That's because Green has Green has 3 2Ks, and they choose to play 4 of the least worst one.
Bro, it's just because he has a search. It's just because his tag is searchable. That's literally it. It's because he's searchable off Bonnie. Because Beppo's better than him, but Beppo isn't searchable. So that's why Apu wins out. And if
honestly, I forgot about Beppo.
Yeah, if Apu is a mandatory 4-up, but he's god awful, just because being a 2K that's searchable is that big, then I think this character is a 4.5. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I'm just looking at our current Dressrosa cards in OP1 through OP3, so before OP4 comes out, we have a single Dressrosa card. Would you like to try and guess who it is?
Luffy.
Huh?
Oh, you're talking about before set 4?
Yeah, before set 4. This is in sets 1 through 3. We have a single blue one.
Is it Luffy?
Crocodile.
It's fucking... Brother, it's Bellamy.
It's Crocodile.
I didn't know Bellamy had a card. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a 2-drop 4K vanilla.
Yes, it is a 2/4 vanilla with a Dressrosa tag.
Crocodile.
Anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to the next 2K, and that's going to be Franky 1 cost, 1k, water 7, Franky family. On your opponent's attack, once per turn, Don -1. Oh, you have to minus a Don for it? Oh god, I guess every time I read this card it gets worse. If your leader has the water 7 type, up to one of your leader or characters gains 1000 power during this turn. 2k counter.
The effect is Dog Water. It is a great 2k counter because it's searchable in water 7.
This card makes no sense to me.
I
Because
don't
his
think the
effect
is that bad.
No, what do you mean? So he can only pump. So he has to be on the board. He has to be on the board. You have to minus a Don to gain 1k. If you just kept him in your hand, you could discard him and pump 2k on any character you had.
Correct. However,
Why would you ever put him on the board? When he's strictly better in hand.
I don't think that.
He's also type restricted to water 7. Like I couldn't pump my purple, yellow Croc leader then gain a Dawn back.
Yeah,
like, it's just not good.
It is only the leader. It is only 1000 when he has a 2k counter.
But for water 7, I feel like this is actually a pretty decent card because you're able to, one, it's a 1-drop 2k, but also if he sticks on board, if not, they're using removal on him, great. If they're not using removal on him, he's sticking on board, and you're getting that ability. So your leader essentially becomes 6k. Your characters that they want to kill essentially have 1k extra power.
Brandon, you know this is not sticking to the board.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, this card's also once per turn. You have to minus a Dawn every time you want to use it. And again, it only affects water 7 cards. There's only one water 7 leader who can't attack in the first place.
Right.
This card has 2 effects essentially. This card essentially says if I am on the board, I can minus a Dawn to pump my leader 1k, or if I'm in the hand, minusing no Dawn, I can pump any character 2k. I don't see why you would ever put this on the board. Why would you ever bank on putting taking a 2k out of your hand to put it on the board to hope that you high roll to pump only your leader 1000?
I think it will see some play.
It'll see play. It's a
it's gonna be
2K.
played.
It's gonna see
There's
play.
nothing in water 7.
Never
I think it's not that bad to drop it because they don't have that many low drops. And if you're dropping this and getting value out of it every turn because they don't really care that much.
Brandon, that's high roll is all. What do you mean?
No, I get that. But for a 2k counter as a 1-drop again, I think it has playability as well. For water 7, I think it's a good card.
A good... Oh my god, I didn't expect that. I just don't see why you would ever take this card out of your hand and put it on the board. With that being said, he is a 2k. I understand he's a 2k and he's searchable. So I'll give him I don't know. I'll give him a 3. To me, he is water 7's Apu. That's all I'm seeing here.
Valid.
That is literally it. Because I don't think I've ever seen anyone put an Apu on the board. He is a 3 strictly because of him being searchable and him being a 2k. That is literally it. If it weren't for that, this card would be a 0.5 out of 5. This card's terrible. He to me, he is strictly a 2k. Brandon, drop your rating on this boy, because you think he's good?
I'm giving him a 3.5. I think he's got playability and he's a 2k. He's a 3.5 for me.
I give him a 2 for 2k.
2 for 2k. Anyway, we'll move on to our next card, and that's going to be another 2k. And that's going to be Koza. 3 cost, 3k, / Alabasta. When attacking, you may give one of your active leaders minus 5,000 power during this turn. This character gains 2,000 power until your next start of turn. 2k counter.
You know, this card's really good. I didn't realize it's until the start of your next turn, so you go on play minus 5 to leader. He's a 5k, so he can't get, what's that card? Visted.
Visted.
This card's very good.
Yes. I think outside of obviously Vivi, he's just going to be a 2k counter, so 3 out of 5. But in Vivi, he is a 5 out of 5. This card is an immediate 4 of. It's insane.
Why would it be a 5 out of 5 in Vivi? We don't know if she has a searcher.
We actually don't. No.
Because in Vivi, it doesn't matter if you have, if you give your leader minus 5,000 power.
Well, I mean, with every other leader, it doesn't matter either. You just swing, and then after you swing with your leader, you minus.
No, it's active leaders only.
Yes, active.
Oh, is it really? Oh.
Right. So with
mind.
Vivi, I mean, he's not only going to be a 2k counter, but he's a 3-drop 5k that you can give rush if you have the 2 extra Dawn.
I didn't
it's
realize
insane.
did that.
Yeah, in Vivi, he's a 5 out of 5. He's going to be a 4 of in Vivi.
If they get a searcher, it's gonna be insane.
Bro, if they get a searcher in their first set for Alabasta, I'm gonna be mad.
Bro, because I remember our first time we were talking, and I said we can't possibly say Vivi isn't good when we've only seen one card she's given us, and that was the 8-drop red Luffy, and that card was good. The next card we've seen from her is a 2K Alabasta counter, and then without getting into the next cards, bro, Vivi is delivering. She is delivering to red, and she is doing it tremendously. So let's.
The only with the cards revealed, the only thing we're missing is an Alabasta searcher. To be honest with you.
Yeah, like Vivi it's going to be cracked. So I'll go ahead and give him a 5 out of 5. Because he is a 3 cost. He's vanilla stats basically. In Vivi, he's a vanilla stat 2K. He's a 3 cost 5K.
But vanilla with 2K counter power. It's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would give it a 4 out of 5 if there is no Alabasta searcher. 5 out of 5 if there is.
I feel that. I feel the same way.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and hop into the next card, and I want to go ahead and start with let's save the best one for last. So let's go ahead and jump into Pell. Pell.
I
5
would say
cost.
Pell for last.
You think he's the
Yeah.
You think he's the best?
You just said save the best for last.
Bro,
My brother.
I think Vivi's insane. Consider you can't interact with that card really. It takes usually it's gonna take multiple cards to interact with her. So then, fine, we'll go into Vivi then.
No, I mean,
Yeah, Vivi.
okay.
All right, so we got Vivi, 7 cost, 4K power, Alabasta Kingdom, 1K counter. All your red characters with a cost of 3 or more, other than this card, gain rush. I think this card is 5 out of 5. I think this card's insane. One, she is a 7 cost, so that means most colors have to jump through hoops to interact with her. If blue wants to touch her, blue has to spend at minimum 7 Dawn, so that's even. And that's if they play Dofi, which they don't. So they're spending 9 Dawn to interact with your Vivi. So that's going to be at least 1 turn where you're getting off her effect. She is a 7 cost that has 1K counter. That's really big.
There's only one other of that one in the game, being 7
Crocodile. Yeah. So, also Alabasta. Wait, no, he's not. Is he? Is he Alabasta?
Actually, he may be, to be honest, because it's from that art.
Exactly. That's the reason I wondered. But so
I'll
it's
check.
the only color that is easily dealing with her is red. In red, you're discarding her because that's what's so great about her. It's like there's only one matchup where she's bad. That is red, and that's a matchup where because she has counter, even then she's not dead because you can just discard her. In every other color, you play against green. Green cannot touch her unless they are teching in a straw sword. Your Vivi is going to answer.
It depends on their leader. If they're playing Isho can deal with it.
I don't even count that because I'm saying, for instance, if you were playing against a green deck, I wouldn't really count Isho as a green deck because half of that deck is going to be black. It's abusing a black leader ability to lower her into a range where she can be dealt with. Because say, for instance, she comes up against Kid. She comes up against Kinemon. They are not touching her. She's sitting on the board unchecked unless they tech in a straw sword and draw it. Or search it off of Momo. Like, every other green deck will have to jump through hoops to try to answer this character. And basically in that matchup, you're pretty much saying, if you have it, you have it. And even then, it's a case where all they do is tap it. They still have to answer it through combat. So if you are playing events and whatnot, no, I know that, but if you are playing counter events, which they all usually do because Radical Beam is incredibly popular, and if she's a 7 cost, at that point of the game, you're probably already at 2 life. There's Red Hawk, there's Radical Beam, there's 2Ks. We've already seen there's an Alabasta 2K. If they get a Searcher, that's more consistently going to be a 2K in your hand. Red already has the best 2Ks in the game. So Red always has like 16 2Ks in deck by default. So like, it's very likely she will be dying, but it's still another hurdle they have to jump through to remove her. Every other color, their removal guarantees it off the board. Whereas green, they then have to commit an attack to it. So she becomes a blocker. They have to spend a straw sword to tap her, and then she's a blocker that could potentially counter based on what you have in hand. I think that she is incredibly good. Yellow has to spend 8 Dawn to answer her with a Katakuri. Like, she's just such a...
Purple's only answer is 10-drop Kaido.
Yes. Like, she's going to sit on the board, and more likely than not, she will not be answered. And if she is answered, it's usually going to take some combination of 2 cards to make it happen. Like... And then that's just about her being on the board. Not even talking about her effect. Her effect is insane. She turns the next card that's gonna come up into a rusher. she's going to give Robin rush, so Robin gets to abuse that. She turns your Whitebeard into a rusher. She is big. She is, and plus, because if it's Vivi, odds are you're playing vanillas, because you can turn your vanillas into rushers with your leader ability. If this is on board, you don't even need to spend the 2 Dom to do it.
She's alright.
Oh my god, she's a 5 out of 5 for me. I don't think you can have.
That card's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think you can have a card that's this versatile and give it counter and it be bad. If she didn't have counter, I think this would be a very different discussion, but she does, and that's why I don't think this card can be bad.
If my thoughts for this card, like this card isn't locked to a leader, by the way. So like,
I
you're
noticed.
playing Luffy, you play this card on board. Next turn, you get to play a Rush Whitebeard with 2 Dawn under it to pop something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, this card
my thoughts for this card is it should have been blue and then still had the effect of giving Rush to red, so it is locked to Vivi essentially.
They also could have said you have to have an Alabasta leader.
Yeah, but this locks it to her permanently in case they make more Alabasta leaders down the line.
Yeah, but do we really want cards that are locked to one leader for the history of the game? I think the fact that this game has no rotation is one of the reasons that she shouldn't be locked to a specific leader, because it would be very nice 5 years from now for her to come up again and see play doing something weird. And it's like, oh, that's funny. I remember when that card was meta 10 years ago, you know? But yeah, Brandon, what did you give Vivi out of 5?
So, if I can share my thoughts on Vivi, right?
Yeah.
I think she's a very good card, auto-included mono red. I don't see her being used in the Vivi deck itself. Main reason being is that it accomplishes what your leader ability already accomplishes. So I feel like for 7 Dawn in that deck, you're 9 times out of 10 going to want to play like a 4 or 5 drop, give it rush, draw a card, instead of just establishing this on board. Then again, we don't know exactly how the deck's going to play out, but I just see this basically doing what that deck already does. I think in a mono red deck, especially in red Luffy, this would feel phenomenal. Dropping this down.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Nick.
OP4.
Because I was really big on Vivi, and seeing how generic the new red cards are, I was like, I might just play Luffy in OP4 still. I might just skip my goat.
The fact that this is not leader lock, I feel like this is one of those cards that needed to be leader lock, because in Vivi, I would say it's really a solid 4 out of 5. Still a good card, but I don't think that it's... like I said, it does what the leader already does.
Yeah.
In red itself, though, this is a 5 out of 5. This card is insane.
This card's ridiculous.
I'm not looking forward to seeing a 9-drop Whitebeard with Rush coming out.
Yeah.
So in the meta that's coming, because there's nothing we can do to stop it. Yeah, it is gonna be like 90% red. I'm being 100%.
No, I don't know. The other leaders, Isho, or you really think it's gonna be?
Look at it right now. It's red everywhere. It's Whitebeard, it's Zoro, it's Luffy.
OP4
Kinemon
with
dies.
Isho and Dofi?
Yes.
You think
next set 3, all of the red events we get that just go, hey, I'm a 7-cost event that kills a 7k. What are you willing to do about it?
Bro, I don't see how you print a leader like Isho and he doesn't have a lot of representation.
No, Isho is gonna be like the Doflamingo, the blue Dofi of the set where it's...
No, I think he'd be like...
rogue meta.
You think Isho's gonna be rogue?
Brother, everyone and their mother loves red in this game.
Did you forget OP1 was Kid?
Yeah, and now look at all of the red support.
Look at Isho as a leader. Just as a leader, that card is insane. I don't know how. I think in a meta where everybody is playing to win, I don't know how you can look at a leader like Isho and not go, I'm gonna play this guy if I want to take a regional. He is insane. He is just that good.
Isho's gonna depend heavily on red. Isho's very good, but
yeah.
If we have another rush meta, which I don't personally think that we'll have another rush meta, rush meta, Isho won't be as good because again, 4-life leader.
Yep.
And that's all you have to say really. It's a 4-life leader.
I don't think we can have a rush meta though with a leader like purple green Dofi existing.
I think it's gonna fully depend on the representation that each deck gets.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I feel like Isho right out the bat, I feel like Red's going to do amazing because all eyes are on Isho. Everyone's going to be playing that. Might not do too well against Red. I mean, again, that's getting a little off topic, but
Yeah.
we'll have to just wait and see.
I guess because
But
still
I
off
think
topic, but
still going back on topic. In a sea of red, this card's awful. It gets killed by everything. So at best, it's a 1K counter in hand. If the meta has actual variety to it, card's fantastic. 5 out of 5.
so we have Pell, 5 drops,
The third
6K,
that is.
Alabasta Kingdom. Don 1 when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4K or less power. He is Robin. He is Robin that
is
pumps
big
1
Robin.
higher and does not die to Vista Otama.
This guy's insane.
He dies to
He dies to
Jet-
Gordon Vista.
if Gordon is still
Got
in
him.
play at that point.
No, you know what? He dies to Otama Pell. That's what he dies to.
Would you drop this on the board though against another Pell?
Absolutely.
Oh, actually, no. That's the thing too. Because
Give it
I forgot.
rush.
It's Vivi. It's Vivi.
This thing's gonna have
They
rush
can just drop
in
this
Vivi.
and then swing.
That's an
This- so
8
that's
Dawn
8
investment
yeah,
for
exactly.
a 6 drop or for a 7K swing that pops something, but you still get to draw a card. So like,
That's still good. That even sounds terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's
that's
an
still-
8 non-investment that I feel good about. I mean,
Yeah.
you're popping something, you're establishing a 6K body, you're drawing a... That's just a good play.
This was the card that I
Insane.
saw that made me consider playing Luffy again, or sticking with Luffy in OP4, because the biggest problem with Robin is just that she dies so easily because she's so small, mostly because she gets tapped down and then ran over, and if they put 1 Dawn on, you have to drop a 2K and a 1K to keep her alive, so Robin usually gets tapped and dies. That's not happening with this guy. The reason, so Whitebeard obviously has one really good effect where he pumps your leader 2K, but the other really good thing about Whitebeard is that he's a Robin that is not dying, and Pell is pseudo that. If they don't have Jet Pistol, odds are that Pell is going to survive until your next turn, and then also the fact that he's coming out in a set with a leader that can rush, that's insane. So he's guaranteed getting his effect off the turn he hits the board. If he survives, that's just a bonus. And when he does get his effect, he's swinging at leader for 7K, so he's taking cards off their hand or taking the life. This card is insanely good. This card's a 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah, 100%. 5 out of 5. It's playable in every red deck.
Yeah, I'm playing this in Luffy.
So, personally, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. My reason being, so, it's a good card, right? It's a great card. It doesn't have counter powers, so outside of Vivi, if you're playing it
Oh, it
in
doesn't
red,
have
the only
counter,
way,
right.
right, the only way that you get immediate results with it is by having the 7-drop Vivi on board, or playing it in Vivi itself with the 3 Dawn over, so at least 8 Dawn. So I think it is a really, really good card, don't get me wrong, but I don't think, personally, it's deserving of 5 out of 5 because you need something to work with it right away. Either being a specific leader or a 7-drop already on board.
So I gave it a 5 out of 5, but now that you've pointed out that it doesn't have counter, I'm going to drop to a 4.5 out of 5. Because counter is very, very... It's the whole reason I cut Zoro down the 2 is because he didn't have counter. That's...
Right. And,
Like-
and then being a 5-drop and a 6K, both are very dealable with, so if you play it without one of those, you're not going to see instant results. You might have just wasted your turn, depending on your opponent's turn. So that's why I'm not going to give it a straight 5 out of 5.
I don't know if you would ever waste your turn putting this guy on the board, because he's going to be one of the bodies that's very likely to stick at this point, because this is only turn 3 in the game. So odds are he's probably not dying. You're going to get... He's very likely going to survive until the next turn, so you will get to get the effect off. I also think him being 5 is really good, because Red typically likes to play going first, so you can't drop him on curve. And, yeah, I don't know. He is very, very good, but him not having counter is actually incredibly big. Not big enough for me to drop him below 4.5, but
No, absolutely.
yeah, no, this card's good. This card's really good. I can't believe that Vivi and this card didn't get locked to Alabasta leaders. Red just got 2 generic new cards. On top of
Yeah,
the Luffy
they-
they got earlier, too.
I mean,
Yay.
that's just red things, brother.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, red
Just
privilege
red
is
and
real,
blue
man.
things, getting good cards.
Red getting that colored privilege.
I fucking was about to say the same thing. Red privilege, brother.
Bro, Red players eating good today. Or I guess in
I feel like
months from
blue
now.
gets just as good cards as red.
You
though.
are crazy. What do you mean?
Yeah, can we talk about that 4-drop? I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Guys, I'm just kidding.
I thought you were about to talk about Blello Queen for a minute, maybe.
Yes.
He was. The red blue Vivi is just going to be another red.
She
deck.
is. I think the
I can't
same.
even think of. I don't even know what blue cards you would play
Yeah.
besides like the blue jet pistol.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
The minute I saw these
I
two cards
would've-
drop, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, well, I'm not gonna play blue cards. Why would I?
I know it's off flavor for them, but I really would have liked to see these two cards printed in blue instead of red.
What? What do you? Pell is the most red card I have ever seen.
I know, that's why I said it's very off flavor, but I would have loved to see it because then it's not just a very generic good red card like Nick is saying.
Oh,
Like Nick said, it
no.
kind of locks them to that leader. Like, hey, this is a card for Vivi,
That's fair.
or just to empower your.
But I
But
don't
then
know,
again, like,
because I don't like the idea of other colors infringing on other colors' territory, because that kind of muddies up
I
color
agree.
identity.
I agree. I just don't like that these cards exist.
That's fair. I am unswayed, but I understand where you're coming from.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
I
still-
can't believe that the red toolbox just gets bigger in OP4. I find that crazy.
I can.
I-
Someone at Bandai just has red.
Well, see, I think red was guaranteed to be ridiculous. The moment that they went, we're gonna make the Straw Hats red. The minute they did that, it was over. Because
Yep.
the Straw Hats have to be playable. The Straw Hats are the face of the franchise. There was never a reality where red wasn't going to be good and not going to get preferential treatment. So,
I'm just waiting for Barto Club to exist.
yeah, I don't know about that. But,
We gonna have a Barto Club deck.
but then with that being said, until next time, we'll see you guys.